The universe always contains countless mysteries that challenge humanity's intellect. The collection of mystical tales ignited the imagination and unveiled possibilities previously unimagined. In May 2012, a horn belonging to a Triceratops dinosaur was found in Dawson County, Montana, with an estimated age of approximately 33,500 years. This calls into question the view that dinosaurs became extinct 65 million years ago. This discovery could lead to the conclusion that prehistoric humans may have coexisted and lived alongside fearsome giant reptiles on Earth millions of years ago. Since 2005, the Vendife Fossil and Dinosaur Museum has collaborated with the Paleochronology Archaeological Group, a team of consultants from various fields such as geology, archaeology, chemistry, engineering, and education, and sent an outer shell sample of the horn to the head of the research team, Holt Miller, for carbon-14 dating. Miller sent the specimen to the Center for Applied Isotope Studies at the University of Georgia. In the laboratory, this sample was divided into two small fragments by a compound or decomposed collagen products, and the carbonate template, a chemical compound that constitutes the main component of horn. Testing determined that the compound sample dates back approximately 31,000 to 35,000 years. The carbonate sample was determined to be between 33,000 and 43,000 years old. This result even surprised Holt Miller himself. Therefore, he proposed applying the carbon-14 dating method to several resin samples to minimize potential errors as much as possible. The next day, the test was conducted on the remains of 10 other dinosaurs, and all of them yielded results that dated them accurately to within a few thousand years. Ceratops, commonly known as the Triceratops, is a genus of herbivorous dinosaur from the family Ceratopsidae. Believed to have first appeared in the late Cretaceous period, approximately 68 million years ago, in what is now North America. Based on research findings, this dinosaur species went extinct during the Cretaceous-Paleogene extinction event 65 million years ago. However, scientists from the Paleotheranology Archaeology Group, which specializes in studying anomalous specimens, conducted tests on them using the carbon isotope, C14, dating method. Some argue that dinosaurs did not actually go completely extinct at that time. The carbon-14 dating method has indicated that many dinosaur bone samples survived until a very recent point in time, approximately 23,000 years ago. Until very recently, the carbon-14 dating method had never been used to determine the age of dinosaur bone fossils. This analysis is only reliable when the sample dates to within the last 55,000 years. Since it has always been believed that dinosaurs went extinct 65 million years ago, scientists never considered this method worth testing. This 65 million year figure was determined using radiometric dating of volcanic layers located above or below the fossils, a method that the Paleothermology Research Group considers to be seriously problematic, as it requires relying on too many composite assumptions. Years ago, archaeologists not only overlooked dating dinosaur bones using the C14 method but even outright rejected it. But as usual, an experienced scientist like Mr. Miller was always curious about the age of the bone fossil samples he shared. The analysis results of the Ba Duong dinosaur bone sample indicate that this is not an isolated case. According to Mr. Miller, many C14 tests have now been conducted to determine the age of the dinosaur bones. And the astonishing thing is that all the results indicate the specimen's age is merely thousands of years old, not millions of years as predicted. I established the Paleotheranology Research Group in 2003 to fill the gap in the study of fossilized wood and dinosaur bones. I was extremely curious to determine their age using the carbon-14 method. Therefore, we used the carbon-14, C14, isotope method to find a solution to this mystery. Why do soft tissue fossils and ancient depictions of dinosaurs appear all over the world? Our carbon-14 dating prediction model will deliver practical effectiveness. And in fact, they date from between 22,000 and 39,000 years ago. For a long time, many independent researchers have put forward the argument that there is evidence humans and dinosaurs once coexisted on Earth. For example, hundreds of artworks and ancient artifacts have been discovered, offering realistic depictions of various dinosaur species. Long before modern scientists pieced together dinosaur fossils and analyzed them to reconstruct the appearance of these creatures. For example, the case of Wadima Zuras, a Mexican archaeologist of German descent. In 1945, small clay statues were discovered buried at the foot of El Toro Hill in the Acámbaro suburb of Guanajuato, Mexico. While talking with the local farmers, he learned that they often accidentally discovered these statues in shallow pits scattered throughout the vast foothills of El Toro. Each tiger was crafted from 20 to 40 statues. He began collecting them and later expanded his excavations to the El Chivo hillside area on the other side of the city. Along with Cinnamon, he owned a collection of up to 30,000 statues. Similar artifacts found in the area have been identified as belonging to the ancient Chupacuaro culture, which existed approximately 2,800 to 1,800 years ago. S. and Sears Roebuck, proponents of the theory of evolution, consistently assert that dinosaurs went extinct 65 million years ago, while humans have only been aware of their existence for about the last 200 years. And if that's the case, how could people have seen and sculpted dinosaur statues 2,500 years ago? Dinosaur footprints from the Cretaceous period have been discovered in the bed of the Paluxy River in Texas, USA. In addition, there are 12 human footprint fossils, with one footprint even overlapping a dinosaur track. Moreover, scientists also discovered a finger fossil at this site. After slicing and observing, they noted that this fossil also possessed the characteristic honeycomb structure found in humans. Subsequently, the researchers X-rayed and performed a CT scan of the entire fossil. The results revealed the presence of internal skeletal joint structures and adjacent features. The finger segments of this fossil are clearly discernible. Scientists ultimately concluded that it is highly likely a dinosaur species existed at that time which possessed a five-toed foot similar to a human hand. Humans may have once coexisted with dinosaurs. However, an even more astonishing discovery for researchers was the finding of soft tissue traces on this dinosaur's fossil. In a 2005 issue of the journal Science, Mary Schweitzer and her research team announced a shocking discovery. They had found preserved soft tissue inside the leg bone of a 68-million-year-old Tyrannosaurus rex. The specimen was excavated from the Hell Creek Formation in Montana. This is a controversial discovery, as the scientific community has long believed that even under the best preservation conditions, soft tissues would completely decompose in less than a million years. After restoration, the tissues regained moisture and test results showed evidence of nearly intact structures such as blood vessels, bone, and connective tissues in the nose. Recently, in the journal Histochemistry and Cell Biology, Mark Armitage and Kevin Anderson published the results of a microscopic analysis of soft tissues found in a dinosaur bone. Mr. Admitted, a creationist, argues that the preservation of cells is scientifically impossible if one believes dinosaurs truly existed on Earth over 65 million years ago. Based on that, he organized a discussion with his colleagues and students about the implications of discovering that creationism is correct, that life was created intentionally, which stands in complete opposition to the evolutionary viewpoint. The crisis has existed far longer than the previously accepted mainstream scientific assessment, and it was for this viewpoint that he was fired by the University of California. According to the archaeological team, this is not a specific belief or religion. However, it is clear that among them are those who believe in creationism, and critics have solid grounds to argue that this very belief influenced the research results, compromising their objectivity. However, the archaeological team calls on all scientists to widely disseminate their research findings by conducting rigorous C14 testing on any dinosaur specimens. Every sample subjected to C14 testing yielded accurate results due to thorough cross-verification. The dating determined from the main component of the fossilized bone sample also matched these results perfectly. Therefore, most, and possibly all, dinosaur bone specimens, whether unfossilized or fossilized in museum and university collections, would yield a similar result. Therefore, we urge collection managers to verify the reproducibility of our research findings. If successful, the implications of this study will be profoundly far-reaching. To date, this challenge remains unresolved, and previous efforts to publish test results using the C14 method have also been repeatedly obstructed. The raw data, unaccompanied by explanation, was rejected for inclusion in the conference proceedings at the 2009 North American Archaeological Conference. The American Geological Association in 2011 and 2012 The University of Georgia's Center for Applied Isotope Research conducted a blind C14 test on dinosaur soft tissue samples, despite having no prior knowledge of their true origin. However, they refused to conduct further carbon-14 tests after discovering the sample they were testing was actually dinosaur bone. Paleontologist Jack Horner, curator at the Museum of the Rockies at Montana State University, excavated Tyrannosaurus rex fossils and discovered that their bones still contained preserved soft tissue. However, he even declined the $23,000 grant intended for carbon-14 dating of that dinosaur horn sample. The public should be made aware of the discoveries of soft tissue and radiocarbon, C14, in dinosaur fossils, as well as the ancient paintings depicting dinosaurs found around the world. Mr. Miller stated that the new findings prove that the current method of dating dinosaurs is outdated. Science values evidence and is always oriented toward the discovery of truth. Although the possibility that the C14 test results are due to contamination or error cannot be ruled out, it is noteworthy that these results have been replicated and the sample pre-treatment procedure was conducted with extreme rigor by Jack Horner University. It could also be due to some other factors that science has not yet discovered. Nevertheless, we have every reason to expect the scientific community to replicate such breakthrough experiments. To conclude whether humans and dinosaurs once coexisted in the same historical period likely remains too far-fetched a hypothesis. However, that is not impossible, especially when there is so much evidence readily available to overturn the views